Hey everybody, hope you guys doing all right. So, I just I just read a text I received from a former friend of mine. We spent a great deal of time together, and I felt a repulsion against this particular individual for some time now. It's not like, and this is somebody whom I actually looked up to. Like, I looked up to him more like a father, like because my dad, like I've always kind of felt like I was kind of helping father my own father or my blood father. And so this particular person who I'm speaking about, he knows who he is if he watches this. I looked up to him as a father figure. So much so I gave him about $4,000 my own money with the intent that we were going to get a place together and, move away. I was going to move out of my parents' house. We would get a place together, get jobs, and fucking have a life and all this type of shit. That didn't work out. He ended up running off to AZ and doing his own thing and, making it impossible for me to communicate with him because he fucking ended the phone number that he had that we were formerly communicating with. I had all these things coming to me. I stole Oxycontin from my mother for years, very, very, very long time. I kept on stealing her pills, kept on stealing them, kept on stealing them, kept on stealing them, kept on stealing them. And so, yeah, I've committed a ton of sin. I've been very selfish. I've done a lot of bad things in my time here on this planet. And I feel like I've also been, I mean, this is not the first time I've said this stuff. I feel like I've been pretty forthcoming with my faults and failures, and mistakes that I've made, which, as long as you learn from them, you turn them into lessons. So I don't like beating myself up about it too much because I'm a believer of like learning from your mistakes and falling forward, using them to perpetuate something good and then to grow from these things that which we've done, which we know are not to be as good or as healthy as they could be. Um, which I think is a good way. I think that's a good perspective. I think that's a relatively healthy perspective to have for anybody. But for this particular individual, like he's been coming to me from what I feel with a desire to want to communicate. And this is the person that I looked up to like that, and he decided to leave, and so it's like, and like that was a while ago, so a lot of time has transpired since then. But that action, that whole situation, had a very, very profound effect on my life, and there's no way he can relate to that or anybody else can relate to that unless they've been through that type of similar experience, which I have not met anybody else who's been through anything like that. So I'm just sharing that with you guys because sometimes people be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. It's like, oh no, I mean, there's certain things like I can't relate to people who've been to war. I can't relate to people who've been raped. Like, I can try to have sympathy and empathize and hear them out, but I really don't know because I haven't been there. I haven't done it. Um, so, anyways, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a fillers in for the context of the situation. But he sent, like I said, so I read a message he sent me on Friday, and he'd been, like I said, he's been wanting to communicate with me, and it's like, well, why do you want to communicate with me? Because in my past experience, he's been somebody that I've found that's used a lot of ultimatum tactics. He's used a lot of do this my way or it's not going to get done at all. And also just manipulative. He's been also honest with his manipulation tactics, and is being an energy vampire. And when you're an energy vampire, one of the ways that you can gain energy is by creating chaos or creating some type of conflict in a situation, knowing that you were the cause of the conflict, and then seeing somebody react a certain way gets us that in itself gives that vampire energy. It's like sucking blood out of somebody, like you having to stick your fangs into somebody's neck or their body. It causes them pain, and then you're taking out, once you insert and you penetrate the skin and you suck out the blood, it's like sucking out the energy. But you first have to cause the pain to go in there and to open up the person or the whatever it may be, and then once you open it up, you can suck it out. And so he's confessed to have done this to me for I don't know how long, but that he has been sucking my energy. And I was okay with it. I was like, oh, okay, that's why I feel like that's why I'd be feeling like shit. Um, so but anyways, back to this text. Like the text that he sent me, I was essentially calling him out and like saying, hey man, you're consistently trying to manipulate people, is giving off a very non-human vibe. And he sent me back this long text telling me all these things that I've extorted people, I've manipulated them. I've like, talked shit about them and done all these things to try to get people to do a certain thing and be a certain way. And it's like, first of all, whenever I say these type of things, I'm just expressing myself. I don't ever really like say anything to try to move somebody a certain way other than if it's like me calling my mom and asking how she's doing and like hoping that she's doing good, trying to have a good conversation so that I can get some money. That is something that I've done, but she's the only person that I've ever done that with, and I feel horrible about it. But at the same time, she's also my mother, and it's like when I don't have anybody else to go to for money, I call my mom. It is what it is. I don't like doing it, but I have done it, and I'm admitting it to you guys right now and here. So, but anyways, I want to focus more on this text that I got from him because it's important because it's hard to know sometimes who your friends really are or what somebody's motives really is, because like not everybody is as forthcoming and as honest as I am. It's just taking me some time to learn, because to me that's just natural. It's just the way I like to operate. Like I'm not like, for the most part, that's how I always operate. But I realize that other people, for the most part, they operate from a place that's like the opposite of that. They're always operating from a place of wanting to try to connive things and contrive things and move things in their type of a way so that suits their best needs, whatever that may be to them. And it's like, I'm the total opposite. I'm the type of dude that goes into a situation and tries to do whatever I can to make that situation the best for everybody.